The Arctic is not just cold, it is brutal. Temperatures can drop lower than -40 degrees. Snow and ice cover everything. Winds howl like angry wolves. And yet, this frozen wasteland is the new frontier for NATO. Why? Because the Arctic is rich in resources and, new sea routes are opening as the ice melts. NATO countries must be ready to defend this vast white land. That means their equipment and jets must work perfectly, even in the worst weather. It's not just about flying fast or looking cool. It's about surviving and winning in a place that really hates machines. The stakes are high, and so are the risks. The Arctic does not forgive mistakes. One frozen bolt, one engine that won't start, and you're stuck. No reinforcements, no rescue. For NATO, having the right jet in the Arctic means the difference between victory and disaster. This is the story of two jets, one that failed and one that flew. The F-35 is supposed to be the most advanced fighter jet in the world. It is packed with computers, sensors, and secret gadgets. It can see enemies before anyone else can. On paper, it sounds like the perfect warplane. But paper does not get cold. And the F-35, it turns out, does. In the Arctic, the F-35 met its match. Its high-tech systems froze quite literally. The cockpit became an icebox. Screens flickered or went dark. The landing gear sometimes refused to cooperate. Imagine being a pilot and seeing your jet's computer say, "No thanks, too cold." Batteries drained faster than usual. The stealth coating cracked from the freeze. Even simple tasks, like opening the canopy, became a struggle. The F-35's fancy technology did not like the cold one bit. It was as if the jet wanted to stay in bed with a hot water bottle. Every new bit of technology is a chance for something to go wrong. One day, in the middle of a critical Arctic test, the F-35 faced a challenge that no amount of advanced technology could easily overcome. The biting cold of the far north is unforgiving, and it puts even the most sophisticated machines to the ultimate test. On this particular morning, an F-35 simply would not start. Despite all the planning and preparation, the jet sat motionless on the frozen tarmac, its systems refusing to come to life. The culprit? The fuel lines had frozen solid, clogged by ice that formed deep inside the jet's vital systems. The extreme cold had penetrated every layer, making it impossible for fuel to flow. Mechanics scrambled to thaw the lines and get the jet running, but nothing seemed to work. Pilots, bundled in heavy Arctic gear, waited for hours beside their grounded aircraft, shivering and frustrated as precious time slipped away. In a real conflict, this kind of delay could mean the difference between victory and defeat, or even life and death. Even when the F-35 finally managed to take off, the problems didn't end there. The jet's radar systems, designed for pinpoint accuracy, began to act up, confused by the dense, swirling snow. Critical information flickered on and off, making it hard for pilots to trust their instruments. Worse still, the F-35's advanced stealth coating started to peel away in places, damaged by the relentless cold. This made the jet easier to spot on enemy radar, undermining one of its biggest advantages. Some pilots reported that the controls felt sluggish and unresponsive, as if the jet itself was struggling to fight through the freezing air. Every maneuver became harder, every mission riskier. In some cases, other jets and support vehicles had to come to the rescue, towing or assisting stranded F-35s just to get them off the runway. The world's most advanced fighter was suddenly dependent on backup. This is not what you want from your most expensive fighter jet. It's like owning a high-performance sports car that can't start in the winter, while the old reliable trucks keep running without a hitch. In dangerous, unpredictable places like the Arctic, reliability isn't just a luxury, it's absolutely essential. When lives are on the line, you need equipment that works every single time, no matter the weather. The F-35's troubles in the Arctic weren't just a matter of bad luck or minor inconvenience. They revealed a fundamental truth. Even the world's most modern jet can become nearly useless if it isn't built to handle the harshest environments on Earth. In the Arctic, nature always has the final say. While the F-35 struggled, another jet was ready, the Sweden Gripen. This Swedish fighter looks simple, but it is tough as nails. Sweden builds things to survive snow, ice, and darkness. The Gripen was made to take off from frozen roads, with just a few people and a toolbox. Gripen pilots smiled as they flew missions over icy forests and frozen seas. The jet started up every time. The computers worked. The controls felt as smooth as ever. Even after hours in the cold, the Gripen just kept going. Swedish designers thought of everything. The Gripen's engine is covered to stop snow from clogging it. The landing gear is strong, built for rough landings on icy runways. The cockpit is warm, and the screens never freeze. Even the fuel lines are heated to keep them from turning to ice. For the Gripen, the Arctic is just another day at the office. That made a big impression on NATO commanders watching the tests. The Gripen is not just tough, it's smart too. Designed from the ground up to handle the harshest environments, this fighter jet is a true Arctic survivor. When winter bites and temperatures plummet, the Gripen keeps performing at its best, no matter how extreme the conditions get. You know, it can be refueled and armed in just minutes, even if there's a snowstorm raging outside. That means it spends less time on the ground and more time in the air, ready to respond at a moment's notice. And get this, a small team can handle all the work. You don't need a massive crew or a big support operation. Just a handful of skilled mechanics can keep the Gripen mission ready, even in the middle of a blizzard. If an airbase gets hit or becomes unusable, the Gripen can simply use a frozen road nearby as a makeshift runway. This flexibility makes it really hard for enemies to ground the jet, since it can operate from almost anywhere, even remote stretches of icy highway. The jet's computer systems are simple, but honestly pretty powerful. They're designed to be user-friendly, so pilots can focus on the mission instead of fighting with complicated tech. They don't crash in the cold either. Even when electronics in other jets might freeze up or malfunction, the Gripen's systems keep running smoothly, no matter how low the temperature drops. The pilot always knows exactly what's happening, thanks to those clear and reliable displays. Information is presented in a way that's easy to read, even when visibility outside is poor due to snow or ice. Even the radar can cut right through snow and ice, spotting targets that others might totally miss. This gives the Gripen a huge advantage in Arctic operations, where weather can hide threats from less capable jets. Plus, Gripen's parts are easy to swap out, even with thick gloves on. That means maintenance crews don't have to take off their protective gear, speeding up repairs and keeping everyone safer in freezing conditions. Ground crews don't need any special tools or huge trucks. The Gripen was built for simplicity and efficiency, so it can be maintained with just the basics. Just a van and a few mechanics, and they're good to go. This makes it possible to keep the jets flying, even from remote or temporary locations far from major bases. This means more Gripens can fly more often. The ability to quickly turn around and launch multiple jets gives any air force a serious edge in Arctic operations. In war, that's a real superpower. When every minute counts, the Gripen's readiness and resilience can make all the difference. In the Arctic, the Gripen didn't just survive, it thrived. It proved that it could handle the cold, the snow, and the isolation better than almost any other fighter out there. Every test, every flight, it showed NATO what it really means to be ready for the cold. The Gripen isn't just built for winter, it's built to win in it. Let's line them up. The F-35 is like a smartphone, packed with amazing features, cutting-edge technology and sleek design. But, honestly, it just hates the cold. When winter hits hard, all those high-tech systems can become a liability. The F-35's advanced electronics and stealth coatings are sensitive to freezing temperatures, and even a little frost can cause big problems. It's a jet built for perfection, but winter is anything but perfect. The Gripen, though, is more like a rugged old phone. It may not have all the flashy tricks or the latest bells and whistles, but it always works. Designed with simplicity and reliability in mind, the Gripen shrugs off snow and ice like it's just another day at the office. It's not about looking cool, it's about getting the job done, no matter what the weather throws at it. In the Arctic, fancy does not always win. The F-35's stealth, speed, and sensors are pretty much useless if it cannot even take off. When blizzards roll in and runways freeze over, all that expensive tech is stuck on the ground. The F-35 was designed for high-tech warfare, but nature doesn't care about stealth or sensors. Its high cost means, well, NATO gets fewer jets. And when they break, repairs take forever. Specialized parts and delicate systems mean long waits for maintenance, especially in remote, freezing locations. Every hour a jet is grounded is an hour lost in a fight where time is everything. In the Arctic, waiting around is just asking for trouble. The F-35 is a superstar. On a warm, sunny day, it dominates the skies. But in the relentless cold, it's often sidelined, forced to wait for better weather or repairs. That's a risk NATO can't afford when every minute counts. The Gripen, on the other hand, is built for bad days. It works in snow, in ice, in darkness. Its systems are designed to handle the worst conditions, and it can operate from rough, icy runways where others can't. The Gripen is the jet you want when the weather turns ugly and the mission can't wait. It can be fixed quickly, almost anywhere. If one is hit, another can take its place in just a few minutes. Crews can swap out parts in the field, and the Gripen is back in the air before the enemy even knows it was gone. That kind of resilience is a game changer in Arctic warfare. For NATO, that is, honestly, priceless. This showdown is not just about speed or firepower. It's about reliability, adaptability, and being able to respond at a moment's notice, no matter how harsh the environment. It is about showing up, ready to fight every single day. In the Arctic, the Gripen wins that battle, not because it's the flashiest, but because it's always there, ready to go, no matter how cold it gets. NATO's job is to keep its members safe. That means being ready for anything, anywhere, anytime. In the Arctic, that is harder than ever. Jets have to take off fast. They must work every single time. One failure could change the whole war. If a jet cannot start, it cannot defend. If it breaks, the enemy could take over. In the Arctic, there are just no backup plans. The right jet could save lives. The wrong one could cost them. That is why reliability is not just important. It is everything. Every army wants big, shiny toys, right? But in the real world, the winner is the team whose gear actually works. NATO learned this lesson the hard way in the Arctic. The F-35 was impressive, but the Gripen was there when it mattered most. NATO's future in the Arctic will depend on choices made right now. Choose the wrong jet, and the price could be huge. The Arctic is changing. More countries want a piece of it. NATO must be ready to defend its north. That means learning from mistakes. The F-35 is a marvel, but not for the snow. The Gripen proved that old-school toughness still matters. Commanders are now rethinking their plans. Should they buy more F-35s or invest in jets like the Gripen? The answer is not simple. But the Arctic demands something tough, reliable, and easy to fix. The Gripen fits that bill. Other countries are watching too. They see what worked and what failed. The future of Arctic defense might look more Swedish than American. This could change how NATO fights and wins in the cold. The lesson is clear. In the Arctic, technology alone is not enough. You need a jet that can take a beating and keep flying. So, what now? NATO cannot afford to guess. It must pick jets that work in all weather, especially in the Arctic. That could mean buying more Gripens or making the F-35 tougher. Either way, the lesson is simple: never bet against the cold. NATO should test every jet in the worst conditions. Only the best should defend the north. Pilots need to trust their planes with their lives. That trust is earned on icy runways, in blizzards, and in darkness. The world is watching. Enemies will look for weak spots. The right jet could keep the peace for years. The wrong one could invite trouble. For now, the Gripen is the Arctic's champion. NATO's next move could shape the future of defense in the frozen north. In the end, it's simple. In the Arctic, only the strong survive. And right now, the Gripen is leading the way.